Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome back to our Ashes Cricket Player Career Mode, and we of course are playing for Wolverhampton today. It is the 12th instalment of the Career Mode and the start of our second season with Wolverhampton. If you watched the last episode, I hope you quite enjoyed that one. It's a bit of a compilation of all the T20 games from the T20 Shield, but you will remember that after that we had no games to play because we didn't have any call-ups or anything else, you see. We had no games to play until the start of this season, so now that we have to play this season again for Wolverhampton, the mirrored season that it was last time, the objective is really to become more of a leader in the squad, try and become one of the best players in the squad, more consistency, more 50s, more 100s, and make sure we hit our objectives, which is to face 500 deliveries and score 500 runs, which is hopefully what we can do today. Not quite both, but contribute what we need towards those to get the relevant XP, which is 53,000 and 12,000 respectively, which will massively help to improve our game. But in this first game of the Midlands Shield, we're going back to the 3-day first class model, which we haven't played for a while. And in this one, we play against Stourbridge. Now, if you remember, the top two teams, after we play the games, will go to a final. And that will determine who wins the Midlands Shield. So that's the objective in this series. I think in this series, well, it is a series, isn't it? It's technically like a test series, but it's a round-robin test series. So it'll be interesting to see how we get on. Again, we are middle-order player. We didn't do particularly well in the T20s, I will admit that, but I'm not really good at that cricket. I feel like Test cricket is where we have our best cricket. But of course, you will remember possibly that we haven't still scored a 50 in the first-class game. We scored a 50 in the one-dayer game, but not in the first-class game. So today would be a better time than any to try and do that. But let's see what happens at the toss. So heads has been called by ourselves, but Stourbridge have won the toss at tails, and they are going to choose to bat first. So we're going to have to simulate through this a little bit, see how Stourbridge get on. Again, I very much doubt we'll be picked to bowl. We're not an all-rounder, we're shocking at bowling, so we won't be called into bowl, I don't think. So we're going to simulate this innings and then see what happens. But decent partnership for the first wicket. Blimey, they're still going, and this is quite worrying. They're nearly at a 200 partnership, but finally they lose a wicket. Finally, Miller has gone and they've lost a wicket, and now in comes the new batsman for 217 for 1 after 46 overs is brilliant. We've got a real task to try and do that, but another 100 for Allens, and it seems this team is a very, very, very good team. And after the first day, which is going to come quite soon, at the start of day 2, they are on nearly 500 runs, and to be honest, I think this game will end in a draw, to be honest, because after that innings, they are on about 560, 570, and now we've got to reply with something. If we don't get 363 or more, I understand, will be asked to follow on. But Hale is the new opener with Vessels. Who was it before? It was, oh God, what's his name? I can't remember what his name is, but it was Vessels and somebody else. But Hale is the new opener. There's another new number 7 as well, I think. That's Franklin. But apart from that, we've got O'Neill in the team as usual. Although Topley's been dropped, which is a shame. But Vessels has had quite a poor game. In that first innings, out within 4 balls, and at the end of the first session, they start the second session. We've got McCalman on 28 off 31 balls and Wang for 6 off 12. So Raf starts his spell as a spin bowler, and I wonder how long it'll be before we're called to the crease in this game. But 54 for 2, not really the best start ideally, but how quick is the next wicket going to come? They get a decent partnership. Oh no, of course, we're number 6, not number 5. We've been used to being number 5 recently. So O'Neill's now in 89 for 3, really not the quickest scoring to be honest, compared to the other team at least. Current run rate of about 3.7 as it says down there, and their run rate was about 6, so significantly slower than them, and I hate to bore the result, but I think it might just end up in a draw here. But we're finally in. O'Neill's out for 16 off 25 balls, Wang's had a good start, and we've trailed in this game by 451, and currently it's a wicket maiden for Chakati. Ooh, that was a nasty ball. Not the best start to our innings. 112 for 4, really poor. By the time they got to this score, they were 112 for none. And I'm guessing it'd be nice if we had a bit of a comparison of when we got to the scores. But I would guess they got it within 20 overs and 2 dot balls to start our innings off there. Again, there's not the intensity of the T20 stuff, but Wang gets a single. And now it could be our time to start whacking the ball about a bit. Bofis? Is it Bois? I'm not really sure. He comes in. We'll take the single there. It's a risky single, but we get off the mark. That's important. We're not out for a duck. Only 2 off the over, though. We need to start scoring a little bit now. And Wang just scores the single. I think, to be fair, it was just off the one. No, it can't have been the single. Or else he would have been back on strike. So he must have just scored 1 in the whole of the next over, which is quite poor, to be honest. But we'll take the 1 there. Oh, do we take the 2? No, get back, get back, get back. That's okay. We're not particularly great at the bouncers, but we'll take that. And Wang's actually gone on with it there. 4, 6 and a 3, blimey. And he's nearly on his 50. And that would be great for a bit of consistency in this innings. But we'll take another single. Get back, though. No, it wasn't quite going to be the single there. Hesitated a bit at that. And Wang is now back on strike. Not the best start to our innings here, I think it's fair to say. We've been a little bit scrappy so far. And Wang's now got to his 50, which is brilliant. But it's the start of a new over with Phillips. Let's see if we can get a few good runs on and get some consistency at least. That's a good shot through the mid wicket, but the other side, of course. And this should be at least 3, but if not, it's a boundary, which is brilliant. Hasn't quite made it to the boundary, but all the same, we've managed to run 4, and that's brilliant. So our strike rate goes up to 6 off 6. 100 is our strike rate, and that is between mid off and forward point. I do forget those positions in the field. Whether Phillips will bowl a similar ball or try and get us out, but that was quite a poor shot from us. A lot quicker, and it was a bouncer there, so that's interesting. I'll just close the window there. Don't want to wear the dog outside. In he comes again. Ooh, not as good a ball. We're a little bit early with the timing there, but we will still score 2 or 3. Just going to be the 2 here. We don't want to risk the 3. But 6 off the over so far. 3 balls taken, so not too bad so far at all. Field's been changed slightly, but nothing ridiculous. In comes Phillips again. 2 wickets he's took so far, so he's been quite lethal in this match. And that's another one, I think. Well, oh dear. We went for it there. I was just about to say he's took 2 wickets so far. He's been lethal, and he's been even more lethal there. I was just about to say we can get a good start here, and we should never have played that. Brilliant catch by the wicket-keeper, and we've gone for 8. Well, that's left the team in the lurch a bit, and now it's Franklin's first game, and we're all going to be out here for, as I say, nearly 200. We are forced to follow on, as I said before, and I said we could draw here, and now it's pretty likely we're going to lose. But not the best from anybody. Well, I mean, look at this. We're back in again after 16 odd overs. And it's 60 for 4. Even worse than it was last time. Well, 2 wickets in this over. It's just appalling. The run rate's not good either. A little bit better than last time. But the fact we've lost 4 wickets in the 16 to 17 overs is shocking. So ourselves and McCalman have got a real job on our hands now. To decrease the deficit and make sure we actually get a draw out this game. That's a nice shot. We'll get the 2 there. Good shot down the leg side. Just check how long's left. We're on day, so we've got more than a day left. It's not like we can just bat it out, really. We've got to be quite aggressive and make sure we get the runs. Well, we won't be batting for all of day 3, I can tell you that much. We'll be out at some point during then. In he comes again. That's a nice shot, but just the single there. We're back on strike for the next over, and it seems already the 2 balls that we faced in this innings have been a lot more healthy than the previous innings. We were a little bit worried, a little bit startled the start of the last innings, but the one thing we didn't need is for a spinner to come in at this point. 5 overs left, though, today. It'd be brilliant if we could keep the partnership going for that long, but unfortunately, that would have been a nice hit, but it's gone straight to the fielder. He's been carefully placed there. Might be best just to try and hit these straight down the ground.
Not up to his usual standard.
Well.
Disappointing innings.
Well. What can I say? We'd started confidently. We said, yeah, let's try and hit these down the ground. The risk is with that, of course, is that if we miss it, we can quite easily get an edge. And we were fearful the start of the over. And within 9 to 10 minutes of this episode, we've been dismissed twice. Well, so much for becoming a leader. There's no way we're going to win this match. And we're all out for 100 odd, and we have been mugged. We've lost by an innings and 227 runs. And just when I thought that the team could be a bit better this year, we've been bowled out twice for less than 200. And one time less than 150. Well, I didn't expect to be doing 2 games this episode. Blimey, we really need to improve here. That's a disaster. That's really bad, isn't it? It's terrible. Oh dear. Really not good enough. Really not good enough. Right, so here's our next game. I'll be surprised. Well, there's got to be a few changes in this squad because that squad was appalling. The batting was terrible. And obviously the bowling was terrible as well because we should have got them out for less than 580 odd. If they could get us out for less than 200 on both occasions, it's clear that it's not the field that was the problem. But oh dear, that was just disastrous. And that could prove pivotal, even if we go and win our next 4 games, because we could not get into the final like we did with the one-day stuff on countback. But we're in a bit of a weak team here. We've noticed this time and time again. And being in a weak team, and even standing out in that team, which is quite tricky, because there is a bit of pressure on us coming in at number 6. Well... I mean, we could become the captain, but I don't see why we would. We're not doing any better than anybody else at the moment, so it's not like that really we can go, well, we're doing really well here, so we deserve to be the captain because we're not doing better than anybody else. Certainly based off those 2 innings, very lacklustre innings there. Might have to just be a bit more careful and get into the innings a bit more before we start attacking shots. That might be the idea, but I have to say, a very poor start to the new season. Well, it's not as bad, but the cracks still show, don't they? After 30 odd overs we come in at 120 odd for 4. Vessel's still in as an opener, but McCallum and Wang, O'Neill had a disaster. I don't know where the form of O'Neill's gone, considering how well he did last year. But we need to focus now, desperately. We need a good innings. That's a brilliant shot to start us off, though. Couldn't have been better, and that's a boundary. I mean, that wasn't the worst shot to start with, although I think now we need to make sure we don't get complacent. In he comes. Just a precision shot there. We'll just take the single and put McCallum back on... McCallum's out. Put Vessels back on strike. Well, that certainly wasn't a bad start, was it, to the innings? Blimey, another single there for Vessels. And 5 off 2 for us so far. Hopefully it's not 5 off 3 and we're out. Probably jinxed it now. That's a nice shot. Another single. And we get a bit of experience coming into the next over and we're on strike. And hopefully it doesn't mirror the last innings that we face a spinner. But of course it does. We should have just expected that. Well, let's just try and survive this over. It's crazy to say, but we've got to just try and survive, and that wasn't the best shot. They put these spinners on because they know that we're vulnerable. Not just us, but the whole team. We are vulnerable to that. That's a lovely shot, though. Sometimes you can just hit some good shots. Won't go all the way to the field, but be fairly close. And Vessels could be out here, but I don't know what the bowler was doing particularly. If he was closer there, he could have got to the stumps. 451 of the 500 runs required, though, we've got in our personal objective, which is brilliant. Hit another good ball there. And to be fair, we haven't done too badly in those 3 balls. 3 runs and we're off strike. Perfect. Now, hopefully we haven't left Vessels in the lurch and that he gets out now. That would be a shame. No, he gets... Oh, dear. Really not doing well there, had he? Just a single off this over. Obviously just scored a single in the end of the last over. That's another lovely shot. Hamilton's just bowled it there where we wanted it. And much like our first ball of the innings, the last ball of this over, he's bowled it right to our offside, perfectly where we can place it, and where we can judge it for a good shot, and it's gone straight to the boundary again. Well, Vessel's on strike here, and I think we've beaten our combined score of the 2 innings, which is great, but oh dear, just a single for Vessels there. Probably wants to stay on strike for the next, I would guess. That will do, though, and unfortunately we had to break his bubble, but we're going to be on strike for the next over, because every run counts. That was proven in the last match in that we just got demolished. But we're back on strike for Hamilton now. 14 off 8, really positive start. I was going to say possible, that makes no sense. Really positive start. Once again, good shot. Not quite where it was last time, but really well timed, and that's a single. And Vessel's now back on strike, and hopefully we can build a nice partnership with Vessels here. No, it's a player we haven't really played with much so far. Ooh, but he's changed the field to be quite nasty now. We'll leave that. No point playing those shots. And we just play the 1 there, and Vessel's now back on strike. It'd be brilliant if we can get a 50 here, wouldn't it? Our confidence starting to increase, which is great. Although that can be diminished by any ball that could be a corker and gets us out. We'll take that though. Oh no! Oh yes, we will.
Good timing.
I thought that fielder was going. I don't know why the fielder didn't pick it up because we would have been out there if we'd have gone for the run, but the fielder didn't, and we got the single, and we're back on, and we're off strike. We'll take that.
The left-arm pace bowler.
And we're back on strike now for the fast bowler. I mean, look at this, how carefully they've done the field. We're going to have to hit it really awkwardly to just get any runs, but we've done it there. We'll take that. We'll get the 2. It's going to be close, but we'll get to it, I think, just unless it's a particularly good throw. We'll take that. Now we've just got to judge where the gaps are in the field. I don't fancy knock it over the infield as a lofted shot. I mean, there's nowhere to go. There's there and there. Well, this makes things particularly interesting, doesn't it? We've done it again. But actually, that's a pretty good shot, that is. Is it going to run to the boundary? Surely not. I think it will. It is going to run to the boundary, is it? Well, it does. Unbelievable. I'd have never have guessed that. It was quite a poor shot, actually, in practicality. But for some reason, it ran to the boundary. We can't get complacent. We're doing well here, but we need to build on this. Straight down the field. But straight to the fielder there. Seems that strategy's working, but I do feel that if we miss time, it's just going to go straight to one of the slips. And there's 2 behind us, so we can't risk that. Well, that's just missed. I suppose he was trying to bowl to get us to play that sort of shot again, but considering he's conceded 6 runs off those so far this over, that wouldn't really be too wise. In he comes again. Oh, that's a nice shot, but straight to the fielder. In other circumstances, we'd have got a run there. But 6 off the over. This is positive cricket. Oh, okay. We'll get the replay for the 4 now. I did think it was a while, and we didn't get the replay, but it was a nice shot to be... Oh, eh? I don't think that was a 4. Well, that was a bit of a glitch, wasn't it? Blimey. I was about to say, I didn't think that was the right shot. But we'll take 4. We'll take 4 umpire, even though for some reason we haven't got it. That would make sense, because we didn't get a 4. But that was a very weird replay, that was. But obviously it was a shot that they felt it was a 4, even though it wasn't. And it was worth a replay, in which it wasn't really either. So, very peculiar there. But Vessels has increased his score to 70 off 116 balls. No, we're not going to hit that one. It's all about building a strong partnership, which is what none of our players and none of our teammates have actually done so far and succeeded in doing. In comes Croft again. That's gone. That's gone. Oh. Oh dear. We haven't got the momentum, have we? 3 dismissals in this episode. Not the best shot. Too early. Comes off as an edge. The ball luckily just about carries him. We're out again. Oh, I was just talking about good partnerships. Vessels gets to 100, but he's out. But Franklin does really well. Good for him. But are we going to be back in before the end of the over? The end of the episode. Good partnership between the openers. Vessels has another good score again, and we're back in. Right, what's the scores looking like now? Oh, we actually beat a team in an innings, which is unbelievable. 139 for 4 at the start of our second innings. Patrick O'Neill, our old friend, is in with us. A strange dismissal though that was. Just too early. It was a bit of a slower ball, so that caught us on the foul. Caught us on the foul. What am I on about? Caught us by surprise, I think I was going to say. I don't know where the foul came from there. No idea. Absolutely no idea. I'd rather focus on my cricket than metaphors and similes and all that silly language. Right, in comes Dennis again. Good shot, straight to the fielder though. It's a shame because we were starting to build a good innings in that, but nonetheless we were out for 20 odd. Can't do much about it. We'll take that though. What a shot that is. Off the side of the bat, and that should go to the boundary. And for 2 innings, we've faced our 500 deliveries. We've completed that objective, and now we need to get the 500 runs. Single from O'Neill there. In comes Victor, who took our wicket in the first. No, it was just a spinner, not Victor himself, but a spinner did take our wicket in the first match, didn't he? Good positive run in there, 2 runs. We'll take that. We could actually win this, as long as we don't have a complete collapse, because I'm fairly sure that Maidenhead can beat about 250 if we only get that. Another good shot there. This could go to the boundary. It's quick. Fielder's trying to get after it. He does get to it, but we're going to go for free here. We could be greedy and try and stay on strike, but runs matter, and we're doing particularly well now. And O'Neill on strike for the last. And 5 off 9 for O'Neill, 9 off 6 for us, so both fairly new into the crease. In comes Dennis. Straight to the fielder. Sometimes in Test cricket you don't have to run every ball. Blimey, some players could learn that, couldn't they? Oh, field's been changed. Why is he advertising that there? There's 2 slips and a gully. I just wonder that he's trying to advertise that spot, possibly if we can get an edge. We'll take the other side though. 2 runs here.
Nice stroke there.
This is brilliant. Good stuff so far. Good aggressive running, which is what we're known for.
He plays that nicely. Gets 2.
2 runs off that delivery. Feel like I'm an Ashes Cricket 09 commentator with Jonathan Agnew. 2 runs from that ball. 1 more for Sundries. Well, I reckon I've hit that one. No, I'm not interested in that. Neither is the umpire. Certainly no knock on the bat, and certainly no reviews in this game. Good shot again. Could go to the boundary if it's quick enough, but I think the fielder will get to it. No, he won't actually. Quite a quick outfield, and we're doing well all of a sudden here again. Good shot. Well timed. We need to make sure we stay in though now for a prolonged innings. That's a nice shot again, and it's the single, and that is the end of the over. And that, folks, is where we're going to leave for today's episode. We've gone over about a 20-minute mark, and we are actually starting an innings in which we could be quite decent at. So leave a like down below if you enjoyed that, folks. Comment as well on your thoughts of the team. I think the team's quite poor, and it might be some time yet before we get to county selection. But we will continue the career mode, of course, and subscribe for 2 videos of this a week. So thank you very much for watching, folks. I've been TIJ Gaming, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Goodbye.